So, what are AI agents and how do they actually work? A lot of people get this kind of confused inside their head because no, number one, they're new, and number two, they don't really understand what we say or what we mean when we say an agent. So, AI agents are essentially transforming the way that businesses are operating. They're not like tools, or they don't just connect tools together. They're autonomous digital workers that can handle tasks, make decisions, and streamline operations. So, inside of this module, what we're going to cover is what AI agents actually are, how they work, and we're going to just give a few examples of their use cases. And in the end, we'll give you a tool that you can use that will help you generate hundreds of ideas if you'd like. Plus, obviously, you'll have the agents that we've already built out for you to lean on as well. So, by the end of this training, you'll understand how to leverage AI agents to create automation workflows that save time, cut costs, and ultimately drive results for the end user. So, what are AI agents? AI agents are intelligent software programs. Okay, again, I want you to look at them as like digital employees, and they're designed to perform specific tasks autonomously. Okay, so anything that has to do with analyzing data, making decisions, communicating with other systems or softwares, um, and they can also learn and improve over time. So you create this feedback loop with some context and some memory that allows these agents to get better if they make a mistake and learn from those mistakes along the way. So, some key features of the AI agents are that they're autonomous. They don't need constant human input. You can have steps where humans can come in and review something and give it the thumbs up, where you have human intervention, but you can also make them completely autonomous. Another key feature is that they're task specific. Each agent is typically built for a specific purpose. So, an example, we have customer service, we got sales or operations. But then these agents can also collaborate together to reach a common goal, which makes this completely scalable because then you can deploy multiple agents to handle different parts of your business, but they can work seamlessly together. So, the mindset of when you're building agents is you don't want to go out and try to build something super complex first. You want to build something very good first, so that as you add pieces to it, it becomes exponentially better. If your agent isn't that good, isn't that trained, it doesn't have many, iterations, then it's not going to be that powerful if you just add another agent to it. But if you build out one that is rock solid, it's tested, right? It's made mistakes, it's learned, it's gone through iterations, and you just focus on tweaking that until it is rock solid and producing the output that you're looking for, and then add another agent to it. That's really the best way to use the agents. Okay, so how do they work? AI agents operate through automation workflows, which are just a series of steps or rules that guide them to complete tasks. So it's combining automation but with an intelligence. So during the automation, and at any specific time that we designate, the agent or the intelligence can interfere and make decisions based off of the data coming through the automation. So before we just push data from one place to another, but now we can insert the agent and they can make intelligent decisions as that data is being pushed through. So it's pretty cool. Here's how it works pretty much in a step-by-step process. First, you have the input. So the agent receives the data. So that you either have the customer inquiry, maybe you have a sales lead, maybe you have an operational task. Maybe you have an agent personal assistant that produces content for you, and you just have some sort of input to a WhatsApp chat, right? There's many different ways that you can do this. And then it starts processing. So the agent starts to analyze the data, and it's using AI algorithms. We have DeepSeek now, which is a fraction of the cost of what OpenAI was. So that's incredible. And then you go ahead and you take a look at the action. So the agent takes action based on its programming. So that essentially means the prompt that you put inside of it, right? So you put in the prompt, and that is its programming. You can make very specific prompts, very complex prompts. You can even give these agents knowledge bases where you can have vast amount of data that the agent can quickly reference and get. So ultimately leading to it being able to make a decision. And then you have the feedback loop. So over time, the agent learns from its actions, and it improves upon its performance, which is incredible because this is something that before, when you're just running a Zapier automation and it goes through, it, there's nothing that really can improve. In fact, after you set up a Zapier integration, you kind of find yourself, dealing with more issues than you do solutions, right? If something goes wrong in the Zapier workflow, then you got to go back and kind of figure where it's at. Where did it break? It works sometimes. It doesn't work other times. A bunch of different duplicates, things that don't really, aren't necessarily as user friendly as we would like them to be, but also just something that is pushing data from one place to another. Now, I know that they give you some integration with OpenAI now, but and you can build some very simple agents inside of there. But the overall aspect of what Zapier is something that's completely different than what we're talking about right now. So let's talk about real world examples of AI agents in action. So let's say we're looking at customer service. I love to use this one because customer service isn't necessarily just about a chatbot, right? So yes, a chatbot can be very, very done very well, but we can also now give those chatbots voices, and we can create these voice agents that have multiple different functions, or have, I'm sorry, one specific function, but have multiple agents that can perform multiple different functions. So let's say we have a scenario where a customer sends a message asking about a specific product. The agent can instantly respond with accurate information, processing the order, and following up with shipping details. So this is for a specific, like let's say, e-commerce use case. And then faster response times is the result, and happier customers and reduced workload for human staff as well. So having teams or teaching teams to leverage this sort of AI tool, these sort of AI agents, is going to give companies a very big edge in the future. So if you're someone who wants to look at this and say, hey, I want to take this knowledge and use it to be a consultant inside the AI space, you can 100% do that, because there's companies out there who are going to want to have their teams that are literally focused on using the correct AI tools so that they can leverage their teams the best. Because people think they're going to lose their jobs to AI, but they're not necessarily going to lose their jobs to AI yet. They're going to be losing their jobs to the people who are using AI, right? So that's a big distinction there, but 100% legit. So the example number 2 that we have is sales outreach. So scenario is a business wants to follow up with 1,000 leads. So we have an AI agent that can send personalized emails. It can track responses. It can schedule follow-up calls for interested leads. It can respond back, right? It's a full email agent that can think and do the research at a personal level, and faster and more efficient than any human or virtual assistant could. The result in that obviously is higher conversion rates and a more efficient sales process, because it's going to be something that's more personalized than something that we could try to do at scale like this would be typically. And then the example number 3 that we have is operations management. Let's say, I love this one because it's a bit more complex on the outside, but it's really basic to set up. But let's say a company needs to manage inventory across multiple locations. Let's say they have 4 or 5 different stores, and we have an AI agent that monitors the stock levels. It can predict demand based off of numbers and the data that we can input to it. And then it automatically places orders to restock all of those different products for all those different locations. Now, that's about, for a mid-level company, like I mentioned, 4 or 5 different stores, that's probably one person's job. But if we go to enterprise, that's probably 3 different people's jobs right there that we could take out with one agent. It's at least 2 people's jobs. But if someone has 4 or 5 different stores and they're doing something like that, it's probably one person's job to kind of handle all of this stuff. But that doesn't mean that person would lose their job. They would just essentially be in charge of making sure that this got taken care of, or if maybe they needed to focus on one location more than the others, That's another scenario as well. But regardless, you could see how this is very, very useful. And these are very um, quick, specific ideas that I came up with when just thinking about, what are some sort of agents that you could start to just get an example of, pretty much grasp your head around, wrap your head around. And I like to tell people to look at this like you're a hiring agent, because the reality is that we're talking about building digital employees. We're going to be in a place where there's going to be more AI agents than humans. And that's a crazy thought, but it's going to be the reality. They're going to be autonomously running businesses, collecting data, analyzing that data. But that is the direction that we're going. And so we're in this place where, you want to look at it as you're a hiring agent. You want to look at it as like, what sort of roles can I fill with my digital employees? And if you have any experience in that field, then that would be a great frame to operate from, because you can get some very, very good niche specific ideas based on your understanding of what the AI is best capable of doing, like data collection, analyzing data, doing personal outreaches and responses, and building any sort of personal data like that. And then you can, even go to Indeed and check out what sort of jobs could be replaced by AI agents. Or made more efficient by AI agents, and even talk to ChatGPT about that specific stuff, which I'll give you access to how to do that. But we're in a game changing time, and why AI agents are game changing is specifically because they're revolutionizing industries. They're doing it by saving time, automating repetitive tasks, so humans can focus on the high level, high value work. At the same time, they're cutting costs, so not just saving time, not allowing their most important resource, which is human time, being able to allocate that to the things that matter, but they're cutting costs in doing so by replacing expensive softwares, being able to reduce the need for large teams, and at the same time improving accuracy. So this is exponential stuff, increasing these things. I mean, as a business consultant, if you were to come in and do these things for a business prior to having AI at your side to be able to do it, people get paid a lot of money to do these things. Okay, and this is why this is a game changer here. But improving accuracy, an example that I can give you is Walmart installed AI into their drones. Their drones fly up and down the aisles, and they they go ahead and do something similar to the operations management, where they predict how much inventory that they need to purchase, and send that data and information back. And I want to say that they increase their accuracy of predicting that by 27% or something like that, and that the AI drone is like 98% accurate, while humans were 72% accurate or something like that. So very interesting thing to think about, because for a corporation of the size of Walmart, improving the accuracy on their stock, just that thing alone is going to produce billions of dollars, and I'm not even joking. So, and then obviously we're providing this environment where not only can you scale effortlessly, because all of the fulfillment is done by agents, right? It's no longer going to be you having to fulfill. You're building this thing to fulfill. Very brilliant. But these businesses are going to also be able to handle more tasks as well as the business grows. You're going to be able to handle more tasks as your business grows, and you're going to be able to focus on the things that really matter, because your fulfillment is going to be way cheaper than it used to be, and it's going to be better than anybody else who's not using it. So very, very cool. And I put some takeaways here, because obviously I want you to take this away. This is a very exciting thing for you to get started and to be here. But just, again, have this frame of mind where AI agents are digital employees, or digital workers. Okay, they handle tasks, they make decisions, they improve over time, just like a trained human does. But they do this autonomously, and they do it very, very quickly with machine learning. Okay, they operate through automation workflows where the data comes in, they think about it, they make decisions, and then that's how we streamline the operations and further drive the efficiency of whatever task or whatever business we're trying to run. The real world applications are customer service, sales, operations. Those are the big three. Marketing, the big four places where you can make a difference for companies actually. And then just remember that leveraging these agents not only for your fulfillment, but leveraging them for other businesses. It saves you time. It cuts costs tremendously. It helps you scale quicker than you thought you could, and it gets better results than you could hiring a team and trying to get everything built up the old way. So the next step are to review these examples. I'll give you access to a tool called the demand generator. There's a video that's going to be actually inside of this section somewhere about how to use the demand generator. I give you a bunch of different examples of how to prompt it, because that's really the most important part. I'll give you some context to what that tool is. So do not sleep on that tool. I use it like it's one of the most used GPTs that I have. I spend hours with it, and I encourage our clients to spend hours with it, because crafting your offer or the direction that you want to go is really everything at this point, right? The benefit of what you have going on is that everything is wide open, but we want you to pick something that, as you inevitably run into challenges like any business owner does, that you persevere because you are here because you like that specific thing, or you're interested in it, or you have experience inside of that. So that's why we have you use the demand generator. Obviously, there's really four main areas that we recommend that you use these agents. And so outside of that, it's just really what niche you want to go after and what sort of problem do you want to solve, and then you can build your solution and be the person that does that and be along for a crazy ride here in the next couple of years. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Look forward to seeing you in the next one, and we'll talk soon. All right, peace.